Well, all right, welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world famous As It Should Be studios, and I decided it was time to do another recent record roundup video where I show you all the new records that I bought in recent times. It's been about at least 2, if not maybe 3 months since I did the last one, and I've acquired a few records since then. So I thought it'd be fun to show them, and yeah. So let's get started. Okay, so first up, Love Decapo. How do you pronounce this? Somebody, can you type it out frenetically? Can you frenetically type it out phonetically in the comments? I don't know. I don't know if it's Decapo. The second Love album. Okay. Now, this is not my first copy of this album. I actually have had the album for a long time, but this is a mono copy. Yeah, this is a mono copy of the album that I ran into just last week, and it was really affordable. I mean, I see mono copies of this now and again, but they're usually crazy expensive, and this one was actually pretty affordable, and I thought, well, there's another shoe here waiting to drop. There's got to be a reason this is so cheap. And so I took it over and I gave it a listen at the listening station. It was perfectly fine. I mean, it's not absolutely mint or anything, but it's not a bad copy. I thought, you know what? For this price, I'm picking this up. Yeah, it has the old, Electra sleeve, the gold label. Yeah, mono. It's pretty nice. I think I have a mono of the first album. If I do, it's in the world famous As It Should Be archives. I definitely have the first album. I definitely have a stereo one, but I think I might have a mono of that, and I do have a mono Forever Changes right here that I'm not going to pull out. You're just gonna have to believe me. So I think, I'm not sure, but I think that maybe completes the my Love mono collection, maybe, right? Because For Sale wouldn't be a mono, right? I don't think. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so let's move on. So next up, The Fuzz. Yeah, The Fuzz. I think this is The Fuzz's only album, and they had a great hit called I Love You for All Seasons in 1970, 71, something like that. Some of you guys know right off the top of your heads. I don't. Does it say? It doesn't say. I don't remember, but it's like 70 or 71. Phenomenal single. And, I ran into this last week, record shopping, and it's really not the best copy. As you can see, completely split seams, but this is a really tough record to find. I don't know if I've ever seen a copy of this before, and I hadn't heard the whole album, but when I saw it, I thought, well, I went to the listening station and I gave it a shot, and it's a pretty damn good album. And a lot of the songs are original, a lot of the material's original, and including the hit. And yeah, I mean, it's not one of those albums that's full of covers of Little Green Apples and all that kind of crap. I mean, it's mostly original material, and man, so I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not too happy with the spines or the seams, but you can't have everything. All right, so next up, I have a reissue, Urge Overkill, Saturation. Yeah. Now, I used to have the actual 90s, the original 1993 Geffen Records vinyl pressing of this that I bought in the 90s. But there came a point, unfortunately, sometime in the mid-90s, where I got rid of some stuff. I went through this stupid period in the mid to late 90s where I kind of got rid of some of my vinyl. Not a huge chunk of it. I would just kind of go through and go, I have 3 copies of this. Okay, I'll get rid of one. Do I really? And I got rid of some things that I didn't have extra copies of. And the original pressing of this was one of them. So stupid, because that's a crazy expensive album now. But luckily, they recently came out with this reissue, which actually I became aware of because Robert Fithen, shout out to Robert Fithen, he did a video recently where he showed this exact issue of this album, and I went, oh, ding! there's a new pressing for this record. Well, I am buying one because there was no way I was ever going to be able to go and rebuy the 1993 Geffen, pressing. I'm not going to pay three figures for it, but this is like a $25 record. So I'm like, boom, count me in. And it's pretty much exactly the same inner sleeve. Unfortunately, though, as with everything these days, it has to be colored vinyl. I mean, this is kind of cool, but I'm not really that much of a colored vinyl guy. And the cover is a little thin. Like how UK covers are really, really thin. It's a little thin, and with the shrink wrap on it, it's kind of bending and everything under the pressure. But I got to keep the shrink and the hype sticker on there because woo, right? But yeah, so it's really nice to kind of have this album back on vinyl again after decades, honestly. And thank you, Urge Overkill, for reissuing this. All right, and speaking of 90s reissues on vinyl that I was really, really happy to get, the Muffs. Yeah, also from 1993, from the same year as the Urge Overkill album. Yeah, the first Muffs album. I mean, this didn't even come out, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think this even came out on vinyl at the time. I think this is not the very first vinyl issue of this. I think there was a previous reissue, but I don't think there's a 1993 issue of it. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. I mean, I personally have only ever had a CD of this, and I've only ever seen CDs of this. But man, what an album! This is just one of those albums that it's just an absolutely just bone-crushing, classic, kick-ass debut. And the Muffs were a great band. I'm happy to have gone on the whole ride with those guys because I had my friend Sean is the one who got me into them, but he got me into them when the first album was out, and went to go see them live on the tour for this first album. And Jim, friend of the channel, was playing drums at the time when I saw them, and yeah. Really, and then of course the lineup changed and became like the classic lineup of Kim and Ronnie and Roy, which was most of the life of the band. But great album after great album, great show after great show, and but man, let me pull this out here. Oh right, it has the insert that has all the photos that were in the CD, and thank God it's on black vinyl. Thank you. Please, thank you for not doing that annoying colored vinyl. And colored vinyl, the thing about colored vinyl for me is that it's a little kind of boutiquey and a little kind of makes it seem more like a toy, than a real proper record. I have very conservative values when it comes to vinyl. It needs to be just black only, or else it's not a real record. kind of in a way. But yeah, the Muffs' first album, amazing record. Okay, so this one is a little rough. Good record, rough copy. Junior Walker and the All-Stars with What Does It Take to Win Your Love? Long title. Absolutely one of my very, very favorite singles from 1969. If you watch our Singles of the Year videos that I did with Crystal Durant and Tommy Von Voigt, you'll know one of my favorite songs of 1969. And I'm pretty sure, I did have a copy of this already, and I may actually still have it in the world famous As It Should Be archives, but I'm not 100% sure. When I was there digging around, I didn't see it. So I just ran across this was like a $5 copy. So I picked it up, and I really hadn't heard it in a long time. And it's a little rough, but for $5 it was totally worth it. And it's really kind of all about the single, the title track, but there's some other really great stuff on this, and I really like the Junior Walker vibe, man. But yeah, take two. What does it take to win your love? Oh, what a song! Oh. Okay, so now a couple of albums that I actually bought today. Today, as I'm filming this, as I'm shooting this, yet another copy of the ABBA 1975 self-titled. Now, I already have two copies of it. This is the third copy, and the reason why I bought this is because, well, actually, you know what? Robert Fithen. Shout out to Robert Fithen is partially to blame. You are to blame for why I have a third copy of the ABBA record. Well, see, he just put out a really great video that I recommend you watching, where he pretty much lays out the whole how to tell one pressing of an album from another, and matrix numbers and all that kind of stuff. And it's a really helpful, really great video that you're going to want to go back to again and again, because there's a lot of information. But one thing I didn't realize, and after he mentioned it, I thought, yeah, duh, I didn't realize Atlantic Albums have the pressing plant, have all the information right on the label, and you can look right on the label and see what the pressing plant was. And so now every time I see an Atlantic record, like if I see Led Zeppelin or whatever, I'm immediately looking to see if it's a Monarch pressing. That's what this is all leading to. This is a Monarch pressing. My other two copies are not Monarch. I think one of them is Specialty, and the other one is PR. I forget what it is. But anyway, it's not Monarch. So I ran into this, and I pulled it out, and I looked, and I saw that it was Monarch. And I went to the listening station. Every time I say went to the listening station, drink. It's a drinking game. But I went to the listening station, I put on the headphones and listened to it, and I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? This does sound pretty damn good. It definitely sounds better than the ones I already have. So I was like, you know what? I have to buy it. So now I have multiple copies of this album now, but this is, as a listening album, as a listening copy, this is by far the best one, by far. So thanks, Robert, for that information. Watch this video. Now, I bought two records today, and the other one being this one here. It's the second Dolly Parton album, Just Because I'm a Woman, from 1968. Now, this is a brand new, hot off the press reissue that just came out, like maybe in the last couple. It came out this month. It's part of the Vinyl Me Please series, and it's Vinyl Me Please has a Vinyl Me Parton series where they're doing Dolly's albums. I think they're doing like every month. I think they put one out or something like that. Yeah, this whole reissue series. I mean, there's I think they're pretty much going to be doing her whole catalog, or as much as they can. She has a ton of records, but they're doing all different eras. They're not only doing the 60s stuff, some of the 70s stuff, and 80s, and even 90s stuff that never came out on vinyl. And I only know about the series. Well, I would have known about it, I guess, when I ran into it today, but I knew about the series prior to that because the Vinyl Community Gunkles, well, Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, he's one of the Gunkles along with Robert Fithen, and Craig is a huge Dolly Parton fan, and he's been talking about these reissues, and so I kind of was, I had my ear out about them just because of that. Well, this one just came out this month, and I just happened upon it in a used record store today. I was in A1. A1 is a record store that has been in the East Village on 6th Street in Manhattan for years, for decades, right? And they don't have new stuff. I mean, it's all used. And I was flipping through the Dolly albums, and this was there. I mean, whoa, are you kidding me? And it was really, really affordable. It was, I mean, they had an original 68 pressing of this same album that was not affordable. But this is stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it has this cool little obi, but I mean, it's gorgeous. Like this right here on the original, and the text here, and this is just yellow, right, on the original. Well, this is like a gold embossed that's really shiny, and just it's a really beautiful pressing of this. The tip-on jacket and the whole thing. I mean, let me go in for a close-up on this, because this is like, look at that. Look, see the little glare on that? This is just absolutely gorgeous copy. Cardboard, like proper cardboard, like I said, tip-on jacket. It's really beautiful. Unfortunately, colored vinyl, but it has the original proper 60s RCA label on it. Yeah, I was really excited to find this, and really lucky to find it. And I'm not going to try to put it away right now because it's too involved. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that I don't really have that many Dolly Parton albums. I have the first one, Hello, I'm Dolly, like the original Monument pressing of that. But I think in October there's going to be one of these issues of that coming out. I might buy it. I don't know. I mean, if it's as beautiful as this, I might buy it. But yeah, so there you go. Dolly Parton, Just Because I'm a Woman. All right, so this next album is an album I bought. I think I got it last week. I don't remember exactly when it was now, but it was pretty recently. I got this recently. And this is an album, this is a repurchase of an album that I had a long time ago, but got rid of for some unknown reason. But Pink Floyd Animals. Yeah. Pink Floyd Animals. Yeah, if you can believe it. Like with ABBA and some other albums, it's like, oh, well, yeah, this is an additional copy that I'm purchasing. This actually is now the only copy of this album that I have. It's not the only copy of this album I have ever had, but yeah, I have been without a copy of this album for quite a long time. Probably in the 80s in high school, I basically collected all the Pink Floyd albums, but then I came to a point, sometime in the 90s, where I think I got rid of a bunch of them, like this one, and this was really never one of my very favorites of like the classic later 70s hit Pink Floyd period. So I mean, I got rid of it at some point and just kind of have been without it all this time. Well, I just ran into this copy and I bought it because it was only $12. I mean, this is an album that now if you see it, it's going to be like $25-30 at least. And I saw the $12 price tag and I was like, what? So I pulled it out and I kind of looked at it and it looked really clean and went over to the listening station, drank. Sounds beautiful. No other shoe dropped. I mean, for some fucking reason, they priced it at only $12. Like that's half of what this record pretty much is always priced at when I see it now. So I thought, well, now is the time to replace this copy because I'm not going to find another chance to get a good, clean copy. I mean, there's a little bit of ring wear there, right? And unfortunately, this is a barcode copy, but it is actually a 78 pressing. I looked it up. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is now, but it's not an 80s pressing. It's a 78, I believe. And yeah, really, 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 really nice copy outside of a little bit of ring wear, and yeah, welcome back, Pink Floyd Animals. All right, so this album I ran into about a week ago. Yeah, it was about a week ago I bought this. This is I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Okay, another one of those where you might have to correct me down below. Mitchell Colombier. I think it's like Michael Colombier, something like that, with wings. Yeah, and the reason why I bought this album is because there's a track with Paul Williams on vocals, and I'm a Paul Williams fan, and this was a piece that was missing from my Paul Williams collection, and so I had to pick it up. It was really cheap. It was like $6 or something. And, has the gatefold. You got, where's Paul Williams? I know he's in here somewhere. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. There we go. Paul Williams, there he is. But yeah, I haven't really dug deeply into this album yet, but there's a Paul Williams track I didn't have on it, so I had to buy it, and it was cheap, so there you go. All right, so the last item I'm going to show you is the monster-ass box set Chicago at Carnegie Hall. Yeah. Love Chicago. I'm a big Chicago fan. 70s Chicago, at least. First album through 11. Basically Terry Cass Chicago, i.e. actual, real, proper Chicago. Now, I already had a copy of this, but it was incomplete. I, had all the records, and I think, but it was missing the posters, and I think maybe the booklets in it or something. I don't know. I have it in the world famous As You Should Be archives, but I ran into this recently for a really affordable price, and it's absolutely complete. And it has the giant ass posters in it. I want to pull this stuff out just to show you, but it's kind of tightly. Let's see if I can do this. Can I do it? There's a poster. There's a book. There's a poster. It's like yeah, it's 4 albums, right? There's 4 albums in there, and there's a booklet, with lots of great photos. All right, and there are 3 posters. 3 posters. One of which is this. Let's see if I can get these back. See, I'm trying to do this on camera and I'm not going to be able to do it right. Whew. Okay. There's this poster, which is a poster of Carnegie Hall. I'm not sure exactly when this was. Sometime a long time ago. Long time ago. Back in the horse and buggy days. All right. And this fucking thing, this poster, I can't even unfold it all because it's like your dad with the road map when he unfolds it and you can't get it back folded. Yeah. You can't. This thing is ridiculous. I'll show you a picture. I took a picture. I actually did open it and put it on my floor and took a picture. It's nearly the size of the entire floor of this room. Giant ass. This is the most giant poster. It's a really cool poster, but it's the biggest poster that has ever been printed, I think. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Let me show you right here. Yeah, see, there you go. That is this poster on the floor of the world famous As You Should Be Studios. It's giant. See all the little squares? Every one of those squares is the size of a full 12-inch album cover. So that gives you, this poster is huge. I don't even know, has anybody ever actually put that poster up on the wall? Has anybody ever had a wall big enough to put that poster on? I mean, it's an amazing poster. Now, the thing about this record is, how did they make any money with this thing? I mean, the cost per unit to produce this, 4 albums, 3 posters, one of which is the size of a small country, and a book and everything. I mean, I can't imagine much money was actually made in profit from this thing. And but that's how great the 70s were. You got major bang for your buck, even if the band wasn't going to make much money. I don't know. I mean, because I do understand that the reason why Chicago was able to do these really extravagant things, like have a double album as their debut, is because they took cuts on their residuals or whatever from Columbia. So they took a hit on this stuff, I think, to bring you this amazing shit. But yeah, I haven't even begun to listen to the damn thing, even though I have a copy of it already. But I mean, it's such a sprawling set. It's one of those things. It's like it's an investment in time. It's like, okay, do I have hours to sit and listen to this damn album? One day I just might. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there you go. That's all the records that I've acquired in the last however long since I did my last video, since I did my last recent record roundup video. But thank you everybody for watching, and thank you everybody who watches all these videos, and thank you to everybody who has subscribed. But if you haven't, you might consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, click the little bell, because notifications, and like and comment and all that kind of stuff, because it helps the algorithms. And yeah, so come back on Thursday, because Crystal Durant and Tommy Von Void are going to be here, and we are going to be discussing our favorite albums of 1975. Yeah, ooh, what a year. I mean, we're in the thick of it. We're right in the middle of the 70s, and things are just getting so good. I'm really going to hate to see the 70s end, but, let's enjoy it while we can. Yeah, I will see you on Thursday, and, yeah, thank you, everybody. See you soon.